ATL Day Ones, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
Welcome into ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra. Want to just say thank you for making ATL Day Ones your first listen today. Remember, we are free and available wherever you download your podcast. And wherever you download your podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. Really appreciate that from you in advance, because what we don't do on this show is hide greatness. Tell everybody so everybody can know about what we got going on here at Locked On Sports Atlanta. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, that is not Tenitra Batiste. She is still on vacation. I'm trying to figure out when she gonna come back. I don't know if she gonna come back. No, just playing. She's coming back. I know y'all people been asking about her. She has not left us. She is still a part of this show. That's why I said her name to start it off. My main man, Randy McMichael, not former dog, damn good dog. Randy McMichael's joining us today. My brother, appreciate you for joining us today.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure, Big J. You know that. You and Teacher, y'all my people, man, and I'm just glad that we finally found some time that I can hang out with y'all on the greatest podcast there is, man. So like you said, y'all make sure y'all go download, click it, and all that other good stuff, man. But, yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with you, brother.
Absolutely. We got a lot of good stuff on board today. The Atlanta Hawks got a big win against the Milwaukee Bucks without Trae Young. How can they do this? How can they look like that when Trae Young is actually on the court? We'll talk about that. And Kyle Pitts and Marus Mariota, are they about to get a divorce, or are they struggling in their marriage? Is this a marriage struggle going on? And last but not least, and for the culture, Randy, what the hell is going on with Jim Irsay? We'll talk about all that. But first, the Hawks get the win against the Milwaukee Bucks, 117-98. And one thing that I've always kind of tried to pay attention to, Mac, is how this team responds, how this team has responded when Trae Young is out of the lineup. Now, we know last year it was a struggle. Like, they looked like a team that just was lost without a puppy, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. John Collins don't act like he don't know how to create his own shot, and you just saw a lot of just issues offensively when Trae was out of the lineup. But last night, the way this team looked, Mac, I think the one thing that I realized at first is the fact that this team looks really different, and I feel like I have to get used to them playing that way when Trae isn't in the lineup.
Well, I thought the biggest thing that I took away from Trae not being there is how good Dejounte Murray is, and meaning that he can still run a basketball team and everything like that. I think the biggest thing about him is, like, he's shooting that J more than anything. You know, 3 for 9 last night with 3-point, but that mid-range was going in for him. But just his control of the offense and the intensity that he brings on defense, that was my biggest takeaway last night, was the intensity on defense when it looked like he was going to get away from him early. You remember the Bucks had that double-digit lead. You're like, oh, hell, here we go. And then something switched, and they clamped down on Giannis, and everybody made him work. And then, Jarvis, they were hitting shots. They were hitting shots last night, and the bench played well. I thought that was big. What comes up, the bench mob. I think those people were 50-plus points last night, the young rook. I mean, if he can't do nothing, the boy can shoot. And it'll be interesting how Nate continues to use him, because he does something that is a premium in his league, and that's shooting.
Absolutely, because when you think about, like you said, 19-year-olds coming to the league, they don't really care about shooting for real. They're trying to get to the hole. They're trying to be athletic. They're trying to be tall, wingy type players, and those guys trying to get the highlights. But when, like you said, when you have an asset and being able to shoot that rock, AJ Griffin is so smooth when he shoot that rock. He almost kind of reminds me of an Allen Houston back in the day. He used to play for the New York Knicks. Just smooth with that thing, man. And he can fill it up when he wanted to. So I'm glad you brought up Nate McMillan, because that's one of the things that I wanted to kind of touch on. Now, we know Nate, it's been very well known that Nate he has issues with playing rookies, whatever those may be. And I get it. I understand it. You ain't trying to babysit nobody. I get all that. But with him playing as many minutes as he did last night, we had 31 minutes. Obviously, it's a career high. And he's the only rookie that's had 20-plus points and 3-plus steals in the entirety of the NBA. So I think that the talent is definitely there. We see it, like you mentioned, but are we starting to finally see Nate McMillan kind of evolve out of that, I don't like to play rookies, get him out of my face?
I think sometimes you might not have a choice. Now, it would have been interesting to see, and it's still going to be interesting when Bogey comes back, because I do think Bogey's going to be the sixth man off the bench and everything. But I think that, when you look at this young man and how he shoots the basketball and how athletic he is, I mean, you got to find a spot for him. It may not be 31 minutes, and obviously it wouldn't have been 31 if Trae was playing last night. But you still got to find this young man a role. I don't want to say Nate is conformed or something like that as far as playing rookies, but I do know this about Nate from getting a chance to interview him. Nate plays if you're playing well. I think that's one thing about it. If he sees you're a young player, like he had no choice but to play Trae Young. I mean, damn Trae Young. But I think that if you're in a position where this young man is doing what he's supposed to do, and I think mainly not necessarily on the offensive side, but on the defensive side,
he doesn't look lost. He doesn't look lost on defense.
I think Nate's going to let him play because he has to right now.
Right, absolutely. And I think that another young guy he just continues to just get better and better the more he plays, and I think he's starting to come into his own. That's Onyeka Okongwu, man. The way he was playing against Giannis last night, like, it's hard not to get excited about this cat, man.
I mean, he goes at it, man. He plays hard. He had a couple, you want to call those jumpers? He had a couple shots outside the paint.
I guess you call it, his back was to the basket, that's a J. I call it a J.
And we know why. Clay Capella, he's great in the pick and roll with Trae and everything like that. And that's something that Big O is still working on and everything. But the energy he brings, and we know, a couple years ago when he got an opportunity to go against Giannis, played pretty well, big, athletic, can move his feet. And as we always check the minutes between him and Clint, and it's almost even every single time how Nate uses them both at the same thing. I think Clint will continue to be the starter, but I just see this young man just getting better. His biggest thing, I thought, Big J, was that he finally came into the season healthy. Wasn't rehabbing something and everything like that. Wasn't no setbacks. And, I mean, he's just playing really, really well. And I think they'll continue to split those 40. Because I think they both played 24 last night. So as we get through the season, maybe you'll see it more going towards him, more minutes. Clint's still starting, but Onyeka playing a little bit more minutes.
Absolutely. And the Hawks continue. They won't be playing. They're off tonight, but they will be playing tomorrow at State Farm Arena against the Utah Jazz, who surprisingly are actually doing pretty well. I think they're 8-3 right now. And Laura Marketing looks like he's asking to play basketball. How about that?
Really?
Yeah, or not.
Or not.
Or not.
I'm just like, that's crazy, Jay. That's one of the things where the unexpected. And you trade away Donovan Mitchell, you trade away Rudy Gobert, and then you got a group of dudes just go out there and play hard. I mean, Jordan Clarkson, I knew he could ball, but I mean, this dude is just out there just balling. But the Hawks don't have their hands. I don't know if Trae will be back tomorrow night. Hopefully he will be.
Yeah.
But I love the way this team is playing. They got a guy that for some reason people want to try and make something that it ain't between him and Trae, like his team, their team, whatever. Trae's the best player on this team. And Trae has to be the best player on this team for this team to go where they want to go.
I have no doubt about it. Now, speaking of, way people think about certain teams, and I think that, I don't know about you, man, but after watching the game against the Georgia Bulldogs against the Tennessee Volunteers, I kind of felt like leading up to that game, there was a little disrespect going on because when you think about the reigning national champions, the quarterback who won the national championship coming back in Stetson Bennett, you having a stable of running backs, you having a stable of guys that are just 4- and 5-star guys that if you follow this team, you know that those guys are going to be football players. And I know the narrative was, they lost 8 guys that got drafted in the first round or whatever, and 3 guys in the first round on the defense, and they lost so many really good quality football players. But I think that if you watching this team this season, I don't think that should have been anybody coming to this game to say, you know what, Tennessee gonna beat them at the crib. I just didn't see that, Matt.
Well, the thing with it is that I think a lot of times, and I was guilty of this early on, that the focus about who isn't here for Georgia and who is. And, a lot of these guys got to play a lot of football. They're saying 5-4-star or whatever. They're really good football players. They're coached really, really well. And so when you saw that coming to the game, 10 sacks, had 6 in that one game. The pressure that they put on it. And the thing with them is that Tennessee, they came out and punched people in the mouth. And Georgia came out swinging first. And they just really put so much pressure on them because it wasn't – okay, yes, it was a big game for Georgia. But Georgia's been in much bigger games than they played on Saturday, and that was the
Right.
one thing that I took away from it. And you can say disrespect. Now, Tennessee's a damn good football team.
Yeah.
They're not good as Georgia. That's all it is. And I know people want to talk about the score and whatever a Tennessee fan might need to make themselves feel better. They held Georgia in 3 points and say, no, we took the air out of the ball. All right. Don't let the score determine the fact that we got after Tennessee. Not saying that, we won't see them again, because it's a possibility that we will see them again. But at the same time, Georgia is loaded with depth and guys who follow the plan that Kirby put in place. And they put in a place where they didn't give up no big plays. They made them earn it. And the way they tackled in the open field, Jarvis, that was just it was so beautiful to watch them do that.
Yeah, I think you make a great point, man. This team is so well coached. And I think that, a lot of times in today's football, people only acknowledge like great offensive minds. Or we hear that all the time. Oh, he's a great offensive mind. Kirby Smart is a great defensive mind. When you think about what he did at Alabama and how so many people that talked to Kirby and were in rooms with Kirby and interviewed Kirby saying that this dude is a great mind. And it's no secret that since he left, Alabama's been a little shaky on defense. They haven't had that consistency like they did when Kirby Smart was there. So I think we should start having those conversations about Kirby being a great mind and out coaching folks on Saturdays, because it came out that, I know you heard this too. He had been preparing for Tennessee since like week 1. So Kirby was not about to go out there and get embarrassed. That's why he did what he did when he came to asking for the fans to do what they do. He's like, you guys do what you're going to do, and I'll make sure my guys do exactly what they're going to do. Speaking of, doing what they do, Randy, I don't know if you're a betting man or not, but I got to talk about betonline.net for a little bit, because, I've been, kind of seeing what's going on with them, because I know betonline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Like if you need information about trying to make some money, trying to get some extra bread, go to betonline.net, because I was looking at some numbers and I was thinking that, the Falcons get ready to go on the road to take on the Carolina Panthers, right? So I had to see what was going on with what the spread was, because I know they were a 3-point underdog going into the game last week, but they're a 3-point favorite on the road against the Carolina Panthers. Shocking.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
They're a 3-point favorite. So, but Vegas, how Vegas get down. So if you're trying to figure out which way to go to betonline.net. They continue to be the top online source for all your sports wagering information, from live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts. You guys listen to us for all your ATL information. Go get that wagering information, betting information, gambling information, however you want to refer to it as, and figure out a way to get some money. They got podcasts just for you. So head to BetOnline today, or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today, because BetOnline is where the game starts. Now, Matt, obviously talking about the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Carolina Panthers, but I think that kind of rewind to like what went down against the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know about you, man, but I'm so glad that you came on with me today, because I had to get your perspective, man. Because you know me, man, I'll send random texts at random times of night, because I be looking at film and trying to see like, man, what the hell is going on with these guys? But I don't know. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Okay.
It seems like when I see Kyle Pitts running his routes and the ball comes his way, it just seems like he kind of gets the feel that more than likely he's going to get overthrown, or he's going to be turned around because the ball is not where it needs to be.
That's not a good thing to have. I think that, I've been in a situation where you're just like, damn, the ball's not coming. I'm running these routes, it's not coming. And that's just something, and I'm not saying Kyle's doing that, but he's been missed a lot. We can go back to the play on Sunday. He's wide open. You could talk about angles and all. He missed them, and it comes down to, and I know you sent me some of the questions and everything, the chemistry or whatever between him and Marcus is something you can work on. You can work on it in practice. How many times you want Kyle Pitts running in practice a full speed middle read route, so him and Marcus can get on the same page? That's just not something that we do. But they got to figure it out, Jarvis, because they're leaving so many yards on the field. It does happen to do with the quarterback. He's not the best deep ball thrower. The one he hit in Cincinnati, everything about that play in Cincinnati was perfect. The drop,
super perfect.
The snap, the drop, the protection, the route, everything was perfect. Yes. And he converted. Now the thing about Kyle and the one against the Chargers, they had a 4 route to the front side. He looked there. Kyle beats the safety across his face and splits him, and he's running at a different angle, but it's still wide open, and he clutches and throws it. If he throws it the first time, that's a touchdown. So I mean, it's just a chemistry thing that is just not there with those two, but it's just not been there with Marcus all year, and it's something that they can find a way to get it done. It might open up this offense a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's the thing because and that's why a lot of people, how some people are. Sometimes they just get a little wild and crazy when it comes to certain things, and they start talking about, well, Arthur Smith is not a good coach. The hell,
no, hell,
there's nothing wrong with the play calling and the scheme. That dude is a hell of a play caller. I'll vouch for that. I don't care who says he isn't. I will stand on the table and scream to the top of my lungs that Arthur Smith is an excellent play caller, and he knows how to get guys open. So, but I think the problem comes in though when just like you mentioned, it has to be a perfect scenario in order for you to make the right throws, right? So, and I think that's a problem at the end of the day because that's why you're seeing so many inconsistencies with the offense. You talking about? I even joked about yesterday about how Marcus Mariota is kind of like the stock market. That's kind of how he kind of up and down and up and down, and that is it's from a third down conversion standpoint. It went exactly way in the. They were 5 for 6 in the first and third quarters, and they were 0 for 4 in the second and fourth quarter. So it just ebbs and flows, man. I think that a lot of times you're gonna have to be really careful when it comes to facing a divisional opponent who knows that they know how you get down. And I think that with this quick turnaround, and I know you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but is this something that they can get fixed within a couple of days?
No, it's not. It's not. It's one of those things where you're in a point where you hope it works. You hope that when I call this play by Arthur Smith, I hope that everything goes perfect. And not all plays go perfect. I just point that Cincinnati Bengal play out because it was perfect. But it's just the thing where I think as a receiver and a quarterback connection, when you don't have that connection, you just got to see the ball go in the hands. You got to see the catch. You got to see the throw. And I guess that builds more confidence in it because right now you have this valuable weapon, which Kyle Pitts is. He's so dynamic, and you just can't get him to show – as an offense, you can't show how dynamic he is. And some of that's on Kyle. Kyle got to catch that corner route. If he's as great as I think he is, he's got to catch that corner route. I mean, that's what a great tight end would do. But I think that, you got to keep repping it, and you can't give up on it because I know that's one of the biggest things as a play caller. I've talked to play callers when they see stuff like that, they're afraid to call it. They don't want to call it because it's like, okay, well, hell, we haven't converted the last 3 like this, so why do I need to keep calling it? So let's call something different. And you don't want him to be afraid to take shots because you got to take at least 2 or 3 shots per game to give the defense something to think about.
Yeah, and perfect because when you think about on that when they got the ball with 5:27 to go, and and it's first down, and they were the Chargers were just loading up the box, man, just literally daring them to throw the football down the field. And Arthur Smith said, "Hey, when you have that many guys in the box, like we have to take a shot." I mean, and it was a good play call. It was there. He just missed it, and I think that. That's the thing that Marcus Mariota is gonna have to understand, and hopefully he can get it corrected and try to get that thing figured out. Now, Mac, you've been kind of following along a little bit when it comes to my journey as far as trying to lose some weight, man. I've been doing a pretty good job.
One thing is for yourself, man.
I know, man. I'm glad, man. I'm trying to follow in your footsteps, man. I got my own little fake keto diet. I'm trying to get my life together, man. But one thing that's been helping me out is Built Bar. Built Bar comes from the people who invented healthy and tasty. Comes the latest gift to your taste buds. You've probably tried the amazing coconut chunk puff, but guess what? Your friends at Built have given coconut brownie puff the treatment. And I think that's right. The coconut brownie chunk Built Bar flavor you love, and a delicious, chewy marshmallow covered in 100% real chocolate. It's like a fluffy cloud of coconut brownie goodness. When I tell you, Matt,
like you heard that, I know it's good. Send your boy a box.
Right? Hey, look. Guess what, man? I got you, man. Trust me, I got you on these Built Bars, man, because Those bad boys got the just enough amount of protein that you need, that you're looking for, and it's good, it tastes for you. Because I know I've had some really bad protein bars in my day, and them things taste like paste sometimes. And then I think that Built Bar has put together something that is really good for you, and they have just as amount of protein that you want, and they taste amazing, and you can enjoy them guilt-free because they're actually good for you. They're a perfect treat when you're craving, to satisfy your sweet tooth, or if you just need a quick, healthy snack. They're an excellent source of protein, like I mentioned. All right. Rich, sweet brownie, cream, and marshmallow. Stop fantasizing. Go to Built.com. Guess what? I got a promo code for you. Everybody like a discount. Everybody like the hookup. I'm about to give you 15% off. All you got to do is go to Built.com, put in a promo code LOCKEDON15, and you're going to get 15% off your first order. Yeah. Mac, you ain't got to worry about that. I'm going to send you some stuff. I got you. I promise I'm going to hook you up, my brother. But yeah, for those of you that I'm not going to send it to, go to Built.com, put in the promo code LOCKEDON15, and you're going to get 15% off your first order. Now, Mac, this is for the culture. It is the intersection between sports, entertainment, and the culture, sometimes whatever the hell we want to talk about, because that's just how we get down on this show. Today is no different. So Jim Irsay, let me just go through the little timeline, and then I'm gonna let you chime in for a little bit. Jim Irsay, he started off, trying to be a crusader, calling out Dan Snyder. That's why I feel it started. Getting the public on behind him, like, yeah, man, good job, Jim Irsay. He's going off the handle and standing up for what's right. Dan Snyder should sell his team, get the hell on, all that's good stuff. But I think he probably done messed that up by this one, because he fires Frank Reich. Well, first of all, then he actually says, Matt Ryan, no, you sit down. I want Sam Ehlinger to see what he can do to potentially maybe be the future quarterback for the team. And then he fires Frank Reich. Frank Reich tried to fire his offensive coordinator and just getting all the people down. And then for the interim coach, he decides to pull from an old school guy that's in the Ring of Honor, Jeff Saturday, to be the interim head coach. Mac, please tell me. Now, for those who don't know, Randy McMichael played in the league for 10 years and was an excellent tight end. Probably still can give you a couple downs every now and then. Dude, please tell me what these guys are thinking right now in that locker room.
I don't know. That's the thing about it. I like Jeff. I like Jeff. And you're happy for
excellent
Jeff.
Player, by the way. Yes.
And he really was. And I think that it was a surprise because you got two former head coaches on the staff. You got coaches that have went through the grind, and these players know. They know who Jeff Saturday is, but they don't know Jeff Saturday. They know the guys that are in there. And so that was the biggest shock to me. And I know that that it looks bad because of the fact that the Rooney Rule. Well, when you're doing the interim, you don't have to go about the Rooney Rule.
Of course,
and it's amazing how our man Buck said it earlier, how they'll find a loophole for that Rooney Rule, won't they?
Yeah.
And
I always find a way.
They always find a way. It's just weird because it's like, okay, what is Jeff supposed to do in 8 games? And so I look at it as, is he like the guy who's going to tell Irsay who needs to go and who needs to stay type thing? Because, Reggie Wayne's on that staff. Reggie ain't going nowhere if he don't want to.
Oh,
but
no,
I just, my thing is like, what does he hope to accomplish? They just hired a guy who put together the play scripts and the offensive assistant because they didn't have anybody call the plays. So he's going to call the offensive plays right now. And for Sam Ehlinger, people, I still don't see it. I didn't see it in Texas as a pro quarterback, and I still don't see that. That game Sunday was awful. It was awful. It was an awful football game. But yeah, Irsay, man, when he's sitting there and he's like, I want a guy with no experience because he's not dealing with the analytics and all those different things. That's cool. I believe analytics in football sucks myself.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. I can relate.
Just some of the stuff that he was saying, Jim, I don't never say nobody relapsed or nothing like that. So I ain't going to say that about Jim Irsay. Well, I ain't going to say that about him.
You can say it on this show. I promise you.
I'm not going to put that out there in the atmosphere, man. But damn, the way that presser was going, just like, what the hell? What the hell? And I'm not saying that Jeff's not qualified. He's just never done it. But my thing is like, what are you hoping to accomplish by this? He said that he hopes it's more after 8 games. The team ain't getting no better.
Yeah. Like, what is he gonna do? And this too, I just kind of came to me, man, when you were talking. I'm just like, my whole thing is, was Frank Reich operating on his own? Like, was he signing those quarterbacks on his own? Like, isn't there a general manager that runs that whole thing? And that was the thing that stood out to me from Jim. I'm just like, Chris Ballard is the general manager. He's the guy that brought in all of these quarterbacks. I assume, unless Frank Reich had carte blanche and we didn't know about it.
I don't know if it was carte blanche, but those were Frank's guys. Phillip was Frank's guy. Carson was Frank's guy. Matt was Frank's guy. And I like how Frank said it after the benching of Matt Ryan. This is our fault because we did not live up to our end of the bargain with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was supposed to come in and hand the ball. They can't run the football. That offensive line, Big J, what the hell happened to it?
Johnny Tatum looked like the next coming of Adrian Peterson, man. Like, what are we doing?
It's great, but I honestly don't know what Jim Irsay expects from his team because they still got the same guys. And that's going to be the biggest thing for me is like, because if Jeff gets his job, he has to go through the whole process of, when you're hiring a new head coach, you got to go through the whole process of it. But yeah, man, just the fact is that if I'm a coach, if I'm John Fox, who is taking the team to the Super Bowl, and I am Gus Bradley and all these other guys who've been in this league and coached and all these things, and you come in and Jeff, because one thing about Jeff, the players are going to love Jeff because he's that type of guy. I mean, he is a people person, a great teammate. But the coaches, how would they deal with that as far as you just bringing this guy in and now we're supposed to answer to him? I just think it's a problem. I think it's a big problem.
And I think you might be onto something because he was already a consultant for the team anyway. So he was already working with the organization. Now he's in the locker room. And I don't know about you, man, but if I'm an assistant coach, I'm looking like, dude, is he the snitch? Like, does he have a direct line to Jim Irsay? Yeah. Like, because he does. He does. He's coach. Right. So my whole thing is I just have too many questions. If I'm in that locker room, but if I'm on that coaching staff right now, I'm just looking at this dude sideways until he proves otherwise. And I don't even know how he's going to prove otherwise. But we'll definitely keep an eye on that situation and see how that goes going forward. But Mac, before we get out of here, I don't know if you know, but like yesterday, November 7th, 1995, Goody Mob Soul Food dropped. Where were you? Where were you? And what kind of memories did that bring back for you? I know it brings back a lot for me, but what kind of memories did that bring back up for you when in 1995, in the fall of 1995?
Fall 1995, I was a 6'2"-ish, 175-pound tight end down in Peach County, Georgia, getting ready for this playoff run that we were going to have. I do remember that, and I do remember Goody Mob bumping. And no, we didn't. Did we have CD? Yeah, we had a CD, and and Coach Walker would let us listen to rap music in the field house. So one of the boys had his box Chevy out in the parking lot, and I never forget. And he had them highs in. That thing would. I do remember that. We were sitting outside after practice because we couldn't listen to rap music in the field house. Sitting out there bumping that Goody Mob. Show was. Man, skinny Randy, 11th grade. Yep.
And me, I was in middle school at the time, so I ain't had no money to buy no albums, and I grew up in the church, so I was kind of almost damn near forbidden to listen to that stuff at the time. Right. But man, I'm talking about sitting on that bus, riding from the games, and Cash used to be bumping that Goody Mob. Man, talking about who was that peeping in my way? Oh man,
and I remember we were all walking. We were all walking through the hallways, and the doors in the classroom had the glasses, and that was our thing. We popping up. Who's that peeking in my window? Yes, sir.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. But
they have a memo out there. They said, "Well, y'all students who are found poking their head into the." Oh man, yeah, it was a whole bunch of mess, man. Yeah,
it's definitely some good times. Some good times. Well, I think that was some of the things that just bring up some good memories, man. We talk about period music. I call it period music. I'm like, yes, sir. That's a period of time in my life where things were really going well for me.
Well, you have to pay no damn bills.
Man, what?
Bills, man.
A mortgage? What's that?
A mortgage? what you mean she needs some shoes? You know what I mean?
Look,
you gotta worry
I'm
about
going to look buying meals, man. I'm going to the McDonald's over here, Harrison and Memorial, where I got the hookup, I got the plug at, man. Come on, man.
We going to big chick, man. Get that 4P, right? Get that 4P Wayne with the
for $2.99, right?
For $2.81.
Woo, look, never forget that price. Plus tax and all, dog.
Hell yeah, man.
Absolutely. Well, Mac, I really appreciate you, man, for joining us today. And also, we want to say thank you guys for listening to ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra. She will return tomorrow. But we want you to make your second listen Locked On Sports today. Got a lot of good stuff going on. They even have the take of the day. Who has the hottest take on this Locked On network? You can check that out on Locked On Sports today. It's free and available wherever you download your podcast. And remember, we're free and available wherever you download our podcast. So, yeah, continue to download that bad boy and leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate that from you in advance. Coming up tomorrow on the show, Tenitra will be back, I think. Yeah, because, you know how it is when homecoming, man. You go down to homecoming, anything is liable to happen. But she'll be back and she'll return. I want you guys to make sure you guys come back tomorrow because it will be going down again. Mac, once again, man, appreciate you, my brother. And we'll see y'all. Man. We'll see y'all on the Hump Day Wednesday.